presentation. The topic is Projected Heritage Beyond the Walls. And Maria Monteverdi is going to moderate this panel discussion. We will start with her presentation.
And my name is Maria Monteverdi. I'm an expert in digital performance, and I wrote some essays on video mappings that you can read in internet and some publication in Italy. And I'm very proud to introduce you our guests here in this round table. The title of this section is Projected Heritage Beyond the Walls. And I had to introduce Mr. Richard Hebert, director of the Festival International Mapping Girona. Mrs. Siwar Rouhana from Lebanon, from the Municipality of Hebert. Mr. Yasser Aref from Alexandrina of Egypt, architect. And Mr. Antoni Bover from the Laboratory of Research of Computer-Generated Imagery, Center of Image and Multimedia, and also director of La Farinera, yes, the Museum of Audiovisual, and after you'll speak all about it. As for me, I work in IAM International Augmented Med Project for DIRAS, Department of Arts, University of Genova, which is the associated partner. As Mr. Mario Bruno, Major of Alghero, said this morning, IAM project is an international cooperation project involving 14 partnering organizations in 7 countries: Italy, Spain, Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, Palestine, Tunisia, around the Mediterranean Sea. The project focuses on the use of augmented reality for promoting cultural and tourism development. We had festival, workshops, and events in each of 7 countries to demonstrate the potentiality of this technological application. And the final events will take place in Alghero, which is the leader of this project in 2015. This panel wants to explore and show to the audience some example about the relationship between the technology, new technology, augmented reality technology, especially video mapping, which integrates architecture and projection or digital displays, and cultural heritage from the point of view of the benefit for tourism. And this is exactly the focus of the European project IAM. The question is, could technology enrich, enhance local heritage in a new manner of communicating history, arts, giving a hand to economy, offer new and unexpected forms for visiting the historical monuments, archaeological sites, inspiring an interplay of different interests such as traditions, history, visual and young culture. We try to reflect on the rules of temporary or permanent media architecture, on the importance for the continued revitalization of the area, on the new role of the media for the public space. We point out that the shift in the application of this technology from commercial advertising purpose to cultural purpose. There is a need for a strategy of sustainable urban media development that targets the intersection between the need of residents, tourists, government agency, the commercial interest of company, and the idea of architects and urban planners in the perspective of connecting people and also creating tourist attractions. Urban media make possible a dialogue between virtual data and public space. As a communication platform, urban media include people in a participatory urban space and allow interaction with other persons, residents, or tourists. We need to reflect about the relationship between the transformation of our cities and the identity conferring power of digital architecture. Video mapping is not the definitely solution to the problem of tourism, maybe, but it could be a part of it. The title of the panel beyond the walls is very appropriated. A building's facade is always more than just a wall. It always reflects the function of the buildings. They have symbolic patterns, signs, architectural elements which identify the urban typology. A building used as an anonymous surface by commercial lights for digital signage is a non-place, non luogo, as in the term of Marc Auger theory. If a place can be defined as relational, historical, and concerned with identity, then with innovative digital media in public space, we could create dynamic revitalization of place in empathy with the area, with the public, giving visible the past, its story, its memory, and functions. As an important group of video mapping explains urban screens, media facade should primarily have the task of representing the identity of the building using its own audiovisual and communicative grammar. At this table, there are some partners of IAM project who created video mapping events in historical monuments in their country and tried to make a union between innovation and tradition. In Egypt, in the framework of IAM project, the 3D video mapping show took place in 2 days in May 2014 in the plaza of the famous Bibliotheca Alexandrina, rebuilt recently to revive the legend of the old library, and it was constructed with a very impressive dramaturgy, rich of a combination of sound and lighting effects. In Jebail, there was 2 projection mapping in the old part as a part of Byblos festival, a very spectacular show for residents and visitors. But I would like to give you a suggestion. In his 1972 novel, Le città invisibili, Invisible City, the Italian writer Italo Calvino tells the story of an imaginary conversation between Kublai Khan and Marco Polo, who gives reports on different cities he has visited on his travel through the empire. Stories about cities and I, cities and memory, continuous city, forbidden cities. After more than 50 stories, Kublai Khan began to realize that, in fact, Marco Polo was not describing a different city, but a different perception of his hometown, Venice. And this story suggests me the idea that the Calvino's visions can be understood as an attempt to comprehend the city as a large number of overlapping stories and history, emotion, connection, humanity in dealing with city life. The technology makes his dream of changing city, multiple city, possible. Participatory city, network city, instant city. Quoting again Calvino, urban screen and digital mapping could make visible the invisible cities and allow us to experience the city with all its change, story, and diversity. Now I invite to speak Mr. Yasser Aref. Yasser Aref is an architect and associate professor at Menufeia University. I don't know if it's right,
yes,
the
right.
pronunciation, from Egypt. He also works at the Alexandria Mediterranean Research Center. His research interests are conservation of the cultural heritage of Alexandria and its urban development plans. He is a team coordinator at the Library of Alexandria, which is partner of the IAM project. In the beginning of June, 1 year ago, the first IAM workshop for video mapping took place at Bibliotheca Alexandrina, the legendary library, with Conic, and Enzo Gentile, Paolo Servi, and me, and after it was created a 3D mapping produced by student and teacher coming from the Faculty of Architecture. They studied an appropriate narration, a storyboard, a visual dramaturgy for the Library of Alexandria, which is a major landmark in Alexandria. As Mr. Aref said in an interview, which you can read at the IAM site. Applying media facade will not only shed light on the architecture of the building itself, but it will also show its role as a prominent cultural center. Now Mr. Aref will speak about current challenges of heritage in Alexandria, the problem of heritage, the public perception of heritage, and in the second part, the solution found in promoting tourism.
Okay, thank you very much for this introduction, and thank you for being here. I'll be speaking about reintroducing heritage, and also speaking about the new techniques to enhance touristic sites. I will start by stating the current challenges that we have in heritage sites in Alexandria. Alexandria, as well as the rest of Egypt, has many archaeological sites and many historic sites and many cultural heritage sites. This is due to accumulating centuries of civilization. At least Alexandria has more than 50 registered archaeological and historic sites. The problem with these sites is that the large number of sites and the lack of resources, either financial or the human resources, make it difficult for the government to maintain and secure these sites. On the other side, there is no department for the promotion of the cultural heritage sites. They are just sites being there and people go and visit, and that's it. There is no this special department for promoting the historic sites. And also, as well, the historic sites in Alexandria are not well represented. Maybe this is due that these sites are located within the dense city center with all the problems of transportation, pollution, noise, and contradicted land uses. We also have a problem in the perception of the tourist officials and the people responsible for the historic sites, is that they should know that there are new techniques and new ways to promote and present the tourist destination and historic sites. They have this old mentality that the historic sites are there, people will get a ticket and maybe get a small info and a small paper about the information about the site, and that's all. They are not aware of the new technologies and the changing techniques of introducing the historic sites. And this is one of the major problems that we have. The sites themselves are very static and they have no interaction with the visitors. There is no diversity in the product. If I would call the heritage sites a product, that has to be sold to the citizens and to the visitors. And this is like the new way of treating historic sites and archaeological sites. They are like any other product. We call it the cultural product. They have to be promoted, advertised, and between brackets, sold to the public or the visitors. With some reservations, of course, about the word sold and product itself. The site lack the basic services for visitors, especially there is no information or interpretation centers. There is only some very meager or very brief information about the historic sites. And of course, as I said, there is a lack of promotion and a lack of advertisement of these cultural heritage resources. And also many sites are not in the city center. Some of them are in remote areas without reliable and good access to the public. On the other hand, we have some problems or challenges in the public perception of heritage. Because of the severe economic situation and the lack of enough resources and finance for the people, all the people, I'm talking about the majority of Alexandrians, are very busy looking for a job and very busy making their living. That's why heritage is not on the top list of the local Alexandrians. It's not on the priority list because they have to fulfill their basic needs in like making a living. And also the public have very low awareness of the importance of their heritage. And this is These two problems are very severe, and they are causing many problems in the perception of the peoples to their own heritage. And now Egypt, now than ever, I would call it the new Egypt, needs new ways and techniques to promote its cultural heritage and also the tourist destination, and most importantly, raise the awareness of the cultural heritage among the public. On the other side, the sites or the historic sites or the archaeological sites in Egypt are only visited for one time, and there is no repetition of visit, because once you visit an archaeological site, you don't have to visit it again because there isn't anything new. For example, if you visit the pyramid this year, it will be the same next year as it was like 1,000 years ago. It's still there, a static monument without any interaction. That's why there is no repetition of visit. This resulted in the low tourist expenditures. And Alexandria is always planned as a one-day visit from Cairo, and there is no overnight stay. Because Cairo is the capital, it has the pyramids, it has many museums, and Alexandria is not well promoted, and Alexandria is not well advertised, so that people, they come from Cairo on a one-day visit, and they return in the afternoon or at night. So that's why the impact of tourism on local economy is very low. And with the opening of the Library of Alexandria in 2002, the city began to be an international destination for tourists. And the Library of Alexandria and the Alexandria Mediterranean Research Center, where I work for, has done many activities for the promotion of tourism and raising the awareness among the public about their heritage. And we have done many products and maps and monographs and atlases, and also we participated in many EU-funded projects, also as well with other agencies, in order to achieve these important goals. Alexandria video mapping project, which is part of the International Augmented Reality project, we can see it as part or as a way or a step in order to achieve the goals which are raising the public awareness about their heritage, as well as promoting the cultural and historic sites. That's why we introduced the Alexandria Video Mapping Project as a complementary action utilizing the new technology of the promotion of the cultural heritage site. Video mapping is a new technology in Egypt. It has been introduced in 2012 in advertisement only and for the commercial purposes. Two, in fact, multinational companies has used this technique in order for marketing their products. I think it was Pepsi Cola and Nokia. In order to promote their products, they use this new technology. Because it's so recent technology, it's too early to trace the developments and know the impact exactly of this new technology. But however, video mapping on the facades of the Library of Alexandria is a shift in application, because this is the first time to use this new technology of video mapping in the cultural purposes. As I said, it has been used previously in advertisement and commercial purposes. We made our video mapping project in May, a few months ago, and the event was posted in the World Tourism Organization calendar of event, and it was attended by many stakeholders as well as the general public, like tourists responsible from the tourism industry and the cultural heritage authorities, as well as a large number of media representatives. We see that the new technology introduces a new way of seeing heritage and tourist sites. Because the technology is interactive, appealing, and eye-catching, it attracts the attention of the public. And that's what we need from this technology, is to raise the local awareness or the local citizens' awareness of their heritage, because I wouldn't say they are not interested, but they need to be attracted or introduced well to these heritage sites. One of the good impacts of the video mapping is that it can provide a new theme or a new story each time, and this will induce repetition of visit. For example, the video mapping can be, for this year it was about the ancient Alexandria. Maybe next year or the year after it can be about Roman Alexandria or Coptic Alexandria or Islamic Alexandria. So we have a new theme, and this will induce repetition of visit. And also, as video mapping is a night activity, and Egypt and Alexandria in particular is a one-day visit, so we believe that video mapping, as it is a night activity, it will encourage overstay and overnight stay at the destination, and this will maximize expenditures and have an impact on the local economy, and also creating work opportunities in the field of tourism. The new technology allows visitors to experience the tourist and historic sites with a new theme every visit. I mentioned this before, so that the tourist will be returning to the same site again, and this will solve the problem of the repetition of visit. And generally speaking, video mapping and the new techniques can lead to repeated visits and will maximize the positive impacts of tourism. This is just images of the video mapping, where you can see the video later. I mean, in some other times in schedule. On the other hand, we see that there are some problems of applying the new technologies, especially video mapping, because the new technology is expensive. You need to have very specific and very large projectors, and these are expensive, are not available all the time, and it needs a lot of planning and solving very technical issues about the angles and where to position the projectors and the lenses. These are very technical issues. They need to be solved. And also applying the digital architecture or applying the video mapping in the context of historic cities and historic sites, it's very controversial, because the cultural value of the old building can be downgraded with the application of the new technology, depending on the content and how the theme is presented. So it has to be done with very sensitive ideas. However, it can give new dimensions to these old buildings, enabling the public to see them in a new and innovative way. In Alexandria, we have many sites that we can apply the video mapping on, like the Citadel and the Greco-Roman Museum and some archaeological sites, and this can be places for applying the technology. And I will just, as being an architect, the integration of the new technologies is not only limited to the archaeological sites, it can be applied on the facades of buildings, and this has been seen in New York City, in Times Square, and also in Tokyo, Shibuya Square, where the large screen, the LED screens, has been inserted over the facades of the building, and this creates a new urban meaning for the spaces, because and also changes the public's perception of the urban space and the image of the city. And this will pose a challenge about architects and urban designers, that they have to deal with the new technology, and they have to deal with the new techniques and new tools in designing their buildings. It's not only as the building used to be, just stone and concrete and steel. There is a new element, which is the digital architecture or the digital screens that are posted or fixed on the facades of the building. And this will also require sensitivity and a high degree of awareness of the implication, as well as the knowledge of the application of these new technologies in architecture and urban planning. And thank you very much for your attention and time.
Thank you. I remember that in the afternoon at 4 p.m. in the space dedicated to the projection, we have some documentation, video documentation about this very impressive video mapping from Egypt, from Bibliotheca Alexandrina. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And now, okay, I invite to speak Mrs. Rouhana, okay. Siwar Rouhana from the Municipality of Lebanon. Rebel, and she will speak about 3D mapping events, 2 events in 2013 and after 2014. And we have also a video, short video for the audience. Thank you.
Okay, so I work in the municipality of Hebert. The municipality is a part of the IAM project, and we have the responsibility to develop a 3D mapping video for the year 2013. But as we developed it and it had a very successful impact on the city, we decided to integrate it in the yearly activities of the municipality. So we did another festival in 2014. I will go through the presentation quickly so you can be able to watch a little bit the videos of 2013 and 2014. Okay. So for 2013, the first year was successful because first the location was very well chosen in terms of aesthetics. In fact, we did the projection on the old citadel that you can see in the background of the picture. Here it is located at the old port in the city of Byblos, which is a very it's a very beautiful walking area for local people in Jebel and tourists. There are restaurants that are bordering the port as well. So when people came to watch the 3D mapping show, they could also be at the restaurants eating. And it's a very the location is very also convenient for the viewers because they could stand on the shores and watch the 3D mapping show very conveniently. Also, the festival coincided with Byblos International Festival, which is a very big festival that is held also yearly at Byblos. There are numerous international bands that come and do concerts in Byblos. There were the Scorpions band concert in 2013. It lasted 3 days. So the BIF visitors, the number of the visitors went up to 18,000 clients who were able to watch the 3D mapping show. Also, we did a media campaign, so we distributed flyers and posters for the event. We did also interviews, TV and radio interviews, so we invite local citizens in Lebanon to come and see our event. We did pre-event advertising and post-event advertising. This is pre- and post-advertising on local news and TV channels. For the festival too, we chose to select the same location for our event, but we changed a little bit the subject. The first year's festival talked about the history of Jebel. We brought historians to make research about the history of the city. We wrote a text and then gave it to the company that developed the 3D mapping show. They made several field visits. They developed a 3D model for the citadel and developed the show, the video. And this year we decided to turn the citadel into a music box because we wanted to highlight that Jebel is a very active city. It has numerous musical activities, and we wanted to target the youth also in this through this video. So the video was a little bit upbeat and it had many lights and sounds included. We focused more on advertising because this year it was for 3 nights. The first night coincided with a concert of Beirut and Byblos International Festival, but the other 2 nights didn't coincide with Byblos. So we wanted many people to come and see the show without them going inside the Byblos and International Festival and watching it. So that's why we focused on advertising. We distributed more posters. We went on TV more. We talked about the festival more. Also on social media, we were more present. So the mayor of Jebel shared the event. The municipality of Jebel also shared the event. The more people shared and talked about the event on social networks. And we disseminated articles on on newspapers and online newspapers. And there was on-site media coverage. A local channel came and did a reportage on the festival. There were also on-site testimonies. Local citizens in Jebel said it was a great work. There was a guy that came from the south of Lebanon to watch the event. Another woman who came from Britain talked about a good work of Byblos Municipality, and she wished that we continue with this event. And through this project, the municipality was able to promote cultural heritage sites in Byblos, use state-of-the-art technologies, because we are the first municipality in Lebanon to use this kind of technology, and we wish to be an example for other municipalities also to use this kind of technology. And we wanted also to reflect a new image of Lebanon, because the image of Lebanon nowadays is unfortunately war and military confrontations. We wanted to show that Byblos and Lebanon had more to offer than war and military confrontation. Thank you. Now we will show you the videos.
It has sounds. Yeah, okay. Just only some minutes.
This is the year 2013.
Okay.
And the video of 2014 and just after it. It is an extension to the first year's video.
Same facade?
Yes, same facade. Here we can see the succeeding eras that that Jebel city went through.
This is the first. Yes. Okay. One minute more. Maybe you can change the other.
Okay, this is the second video.
In the afternoon or
No, not this one. Another thing.
you have the video for maybe you can
A little bit more. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. And it's up to you, Mr. Antoni Bover. And you are director of La Farinera, the Museum of Audiovisual from the city of Vic. And also you are a researcher and a teacher. It's up to you.
Thank you very much. Mando?
Okay.
Vale, moltes gràcies. Això que funciona així, no? Més apretant aquí. Val,
Okay, it's now your time.
Yes. Bueno, moltes gràcies per invitar.
Thank you very much for having invited me. I would like to present this project, The Walls of NACTEC, which is linked with this project, Beyond the Walls, and indirectly it's linked with the video mapping project. The Walls at the NACTEC is a project that will open in 2-3 months. It will have several months. It will take several months, and it's promoted by the Science and Technology Museum of the Regional Government of Catalonia with the collaboration of the Technical University of Catalonia. It's a project, it's a multimedia project, and the seat, the headquarters of that department is in the city of Terrassa. We take the original idea from Image and Heritage, that is the foundation, and this is very recent because we started only 1 year back. It's a project that has taken 9 months and, well, it's underway. This space is in a modernista type of building. In 2010 it was rehabilitated, refurbished, and the building was transformed in order that it would have two aesthetics, the daytime one and the nighttime one. The objects of this project are several and manifold. It's the promotion of tourism on the one hand, cultural promotion of the municipalities with the idea of transforming the city into a show. When you work on digital contents, they can be put on a web platform, but of course it's very different if you visit the city and you live the atmosphere. Another interesting element, of course, because we have a link with the university, etc., it was to link this to the schools with school projects, because today we need to work on this relation, the relation between arts and communication and science and technology. So we wanted to establish this link and between our projects and the school. We were born as a place for knowledge transfer. So technological innovation, industrial innovation are key, and we also have been born in order to create jobs. We have now incorporated the digital natives. We are living in a country with a high rate of unemployment among the youth, especially. So the idea is to research, but it's also to teach, so that the young people may join this discipline and can visualize things in a different manner. We started off with the idea of an inter-professional team, and that is the team, people belonging to different disciplines: image, visual communication, graphic design, management communication, architecture, heritage, research, and it needed to be an intergenerational team as well. So young people not that young, and we are also aware of the fact that the teams may have a certain lifetime. So we, of course, strengthen networking. On the one hand, we have started working with museums. We are working with 2 departments in the university, the Technical University of Catalonia in this case. And it's important also to establish a link with the private companies, because if the resources, which are usually scarce, cannot go any further, maybe we can find a video production company, as is the case, or Gemlog, or EGM, a company that has helped us face any type of challenge. We have taken 3 elements as the initial elements. You spoke of Calvino, mentioning invisible cities. Well, that is the first project of ours. In November, it will be the first anniversary of this project. It's a project that's here to stay and to grow. And we started back then, a year ago, with this first concept in mind. When you walk around the city, many things have happened on those streets, etc., and there are traces of it, and photography is a witness. So the idea is to visualize images, to really see them from the same point from where the photographer took that picture. So it's about preserving the elements, the real elements. You can see the reality and the augmented reality. So you take a look into the past and the link with the present moment. Here is one of the images where you can see some gaudy lampposts that didn't last very long. So thanks to this photography, you can visualize the way it looked like in the past. So it's very simple. There is a permanent exhibition. It's like the footprint that is always there. It's that footmark that will never change place. It's the QR code with the numbers and the actual footmark where the photographer took the picture from. There are many images that you don't need to see this way, not necessarily, and that is why we thought of a traveling exhibition, and it will be open in 2 months. It's a temporary traveling exhibition that might last 1-2 months, maybe, by using vinyl footprints that can be used to see things the way the photographer saw them when he took the picture. And we are recovering this gaudy lampposts and the way different photographers saw them and shot them. We are working on the relation between the virtual image and the real image, and this is the second project that is now available. It was born in the School of Architecture in Barcelona. They were interested in this concept of the invisible space that we were working on. So we wanted to relive 1714 Barcelona. We didn't have pictures, so it was a 3D simulation on that occasion. As you can see on the map, there are 8 spots. The hot spots in Barcelona back then, in the year 1714, the School of Architecture designed the building, and from our multimedia technique research center, we gave it this hyper-realistic look based on the walls, the defensive walls that still stand in some areas in Barcelona. And you can see here a flattening technique of a 3D image to be visualized on site by means of an IT application. You can take your smartphone and the image is totally north oriented, and then you physically can move your phone or tablet, and then you see the past. You see a simulation of the past that, of course, does not exist anymore. And the third space that is linked with mapping, actually, this was our first project before we worked on heritage precisely. We worked on this idea, the Meder walls. It's a city of Vic that has this river in the middle, dividing the city into the old city and the new city. And as town planners say, the river is like a barrier breaking the city. So we said, why don't we transform this barrier into a promenade or some space to be used to walk around? So we used these large pictures. We put them on the real places. We had this pilot test applied and it remained. We could see the same Gothic bridge in reality and in a virtual representation. Also the train, beginning of the 20th century and the 21st century train in reality as it goes by. So we started this project when the economic recession, financial crisis began. It seemed to be very cheap to do it, but well, Spain ran out of money in general, so we thought of the mobile technologies and smart phones because we thought it could be applied onto this project. I would like now to present our science museum. It's the Science and Technique Museum in the city of Terrassa. The facade is modernista, is of a modernista style, and it's very interesting. It's kind of Art Nouveau, but in the back you see the walls, and behind those, in the outside, the site itself doesn't tell much, and there are many people in Terrassa living there or from Terrassa that don't know exactly what goes on inside, behind those walls. So that is what we have thought of. It's the walls of the museum, and through the image, the idea is to explain what's behind the walls. I mean, right now this is a museum, but many years ago that used to be a textile factory, a textile plant. So we have many images of the machines and fabric manufacturing, etc. So this is something that we will do in a few months. You see these walls now that are completely, naked, so to say, and we will project there large images. You see here, this is an image that is 10 meters 8 meters per 10, so it's big. We've worked with the university, with the lab in the university, so we've worked hard in terms of the quality of the image. We took a giga picture to then print it with the best quality possible. This project, as is the case of Invisible Vic, the city of Vic, of course it has its stages, because these processes may be very long, because also it's useful in case any new technology appears. It might be cheaper to do it in stages, in phases, and one of our ideas is to adapt ourselves constantly, to use the imagination, to look for image-based resources. And still, this is the back of the museum wall. It's a pre-project stage still, but we've been brainstorming already to see what resources we can apply here. In this case, we won't see the image now, but it's just an idea. But you see, it's the social aspect. We saw the technology first. We saw the machines, the machinery, and the Art Nouveau architecture linked to an industry. And here we work on the social side of things. Many workers, of course, were employed by these textile plants, and they were very important for the Catalan industry. So it's like paying tribute to those people that have contributed to the growth of the country. So if the first part of the project is a look from the inside to the outside, from the outside to the inside, here it's the other way around. It's the image of the past. So when you walk along that street, you can have the feeling that you are being watched from a different perspective. This project should have a third stage. Maybe we can start now already. It seems that we will have the chance to work on the main facade. It's Art Nouveau, and there's, pavement and materials that are interesting. So maybe we could work on some video mapping, as we've seen from previous speakers. We can do this, but there is a disadvantage here, at least now for us. It's expensive. It requires certain infrastructure. The projectors, people, if you're involved in this, projectors are expensive, and sometimes they break. And the idea is not to create a show, but a pedagogical documentary, really, because we are a didactic pedagogical institution. We are working now with another museum, so we would like to project things through the windows. This is just an idea. Nothing's ready yet. Nothing's decided yet. So maybe, the street is a street, and it's open and it's public, but behind the walls, there is some area which is still public, which is still not the proper museum. So you can take a look in there from the outside, from the inside, and this can contribute something else. It might help us explain what happened in the past in this museum, but it can also even advertise events in the museum, etc. We've been asked also to work on this facade. This is the facade, and that's what you see from the street, really. So even if you go into the museum or you don't, you can see the facade. So these three windows are very interesting to you. So the projection comes from the inside. We can use then projectors that are cheaper, and these projectors can then be used for other purposes, conferences, and other activities inside the museum. And then on the other hand, we heard this before, gives us the chance to create content that may be changed very quickly, very rapidly. You can explain anything. You can explain the museum or activities or things related to the city itself. So that is what I wanted to share with you. It's nothing done, not yet. Well, from a professional standpoint, we are very young, not in terms of human age, but the project's age. But we are willing to work hard in order to integrate the digital technology into these activities. And I think we could summarize by saying, well, by mentioning three elements: imagination, to make the most of technology, to work on different projects; quality, because since we are with the university, we have the chance to be close to the most advanced technology, but this doesn't mean quality. Not necessarily. It's pre-visualization, it's the pre-project, so we've always wanted to work with the old and the new and the old technology because of the advantages of the older technology. And then resource optimization is very important for us because we're doing things that other people do already, so why not work together? The projects will be cheaper and probably more interesting. Thank you.
Okay, it's your time. Mr. Richard Hebert is the director of the first International Video Mapping Festival in Girona, and I ask you to introduce the strategy of your festival, the starting, the public, the competition, the artists involved in this project, and also the effect on tourism or economic situation, or for anything else about the topics of this roundtable.
Okay, thank you. Well, I'm going to explain you how our mapping festival here in Girona, the International Mapping Festival from Girona, was born and raised. And well, I'm also the director of Bloom. Bloom is a technological center, a public technological center here in Girona. And well, in that center, we make consultancy to everyone that goes there. It can be public companies or institutions. It can be students. It can be little companies, large companies, whoever comes there, and they can come to our center to talk about their needs, their problems, or maybe ideas. And we try to give them a technological solution for that needs or problems. And well, if we have the materials or the equipment or the facilities they need to develop their projects, we can rent them that equipment at public price. If we don't have, we found that equipment and put them in contact with the people that have the equipment. And if they need people, well, we do a little networking and put them in contact also with the people. Sometimes happens that they say to us, "Hi Richard, well, I explained you my problem, you find a solution, you have the materials or the equipment, you know the people, well, do it for us." And that's what we normally do in the center. Happened that in that last year, 2013, we created a first mapping for a company, for a private company here in Girona. And well, the mayor of the city and some people from the government of Catalonia come also to visit that show, and they were really impressed of the possibilities. You have to understand that in Girona there were already some mapping experiences, but I don't know why. Maybe because they were experimental, or maybe they weren't. They didn't have a good publicity, whatever. People didn't remember that experiences. So what happened? That the mayor of the city told us, "Well, why don't you try to make a project with mapping in the city hall and try to explain something?" And well, that's something we think about how people were using mapping normally. And we decided to make a different approach. And that different approach was talking about museums, the museums of the city. And we choose the International Museum Day, which is in May, and we decided to take all the content from the public museums of the city and make a mapping and show the people of the city what they could find in that museums. And the experience was really good. And then the mayor of the city came to us and told us, well, why don't try to make something different for the festivities of the city? And we said, okay, we can try it. And we decided to talk about another different thing, which was about the historical origins of the city. And we made a mapping talking about that. And already it was a success. And well, we talked again with the city hall, and we thought, okay, people from Girona like mapping. People from outside Girona like mapping. Why don't we try to make something different, something bigger, and try to attract people to come to Girona? We at Girona, we have the same problem like you in Alexandria, because we are really close to Barcelona, and Barcelona eats everything. And well, in Girona we have a mark which is called Girona City of Festivals, because here in Girona there are a lot of different kinds of festivals. And we thought, well, why don't we try to make a mapping festival? And well, we did. And our approach was to make two different scenarios. One of them was make a meeting from the companies that were working with mapping around Catalonia, but also we tried to prepare an international contest with companies around the world. We received about 40
Without
proposals.
specific thematics?
Without a specific thematics.
Free.
The objective of that contest was to arise the talent or the creativity of that artist or that groups of people, but also to show our facades to the world, and also to attract people and promote the tourism in the city, and also the you told to make people to consume in the city, sleep in the city, you know, that kind of things. And well, we created a 3-day festival like yours, and the main idea is that from those 40 proposals, we choose 22 proposals, and that 22 proposals were from 8 different countries, people from 8 different countries, and that proposals became projects. And we defined 4 facades in the city, invite a company from Canada, which was the same company that made the mapping show over the Sagrada Familia in Barcelona a couple of years ago. And we decided to promote that around the territory, but also internationally. And obviously we made a promotion through Europe, but mainly also in different regions of Spain. And well, we made a similar approach like yours in order to promote the festival with flyers, website, social networks, and social media too. And well, it really worked. It worked really good, because you have to understand that in Girona, to make people to go to an event or a show, we normally achieve hundreds of people maybe, and we had thousands of people in the streets. And we have the weather complication because it rained 2 of the days, but only until 8 o'clock. So people were calling us and saying, "Okay, it's raining. Are you going to project the mappings?" And we said, "At 8 o'clock we will give you the answer." And yes, we could do that, and thousands of people were waiting for us to run the mappings. So we were really happy. The results were that thousands of people in the city, thousands of people consuming in the restaurants, in the shops, because we try to arrange the restaurants, the hotels, all to make a common strategy together with popular prices, special menus in the restaurants, things like that. And well, we made a large promotion in the territory with radio, with TV, also with flyers in all the coast, because you have to understand that normally in the coast of Girona, which is Costa Brava, we have a lot of campings and hotels and things like that, and you can normally find about more than half a million people there, and well, we try to reach to all that people to come to Girona in order to see our festival. And well, we are now analyzing the results of that festival and defining the next year festival, because we want to obviously repeat the experience, but also making it bigger and making it different, and evolving that idea of how we can use audiovisual projection techniques in order to use or promote our facades, our historical heritage, but also to promote the city. So we are working now on that things. Maybe it will be not the same, maybe yes, but for sure it will be a success.
I have a question. Do you have any link with other international festivals? Because here, Marko Belkovic is the director of from Croatian Festival, so
yes.
You could meet.
Well, you can find information about the festival with FIMG, which are the name of the festival, around social networks. And you will find at YouTube, Facebook, things like that. But also you can go to the website, which is Girona Mapping Festival, all in English, .cat, and you will find there a lot of information. We are going to post and upload all the different mapping projects, but also all the conference that we made in the technical speeches.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
And any question from the audience? The time is finished, but if you have any question.
I'm Ahmed from Jordan. Thanks for all speakers. I have one concern about the video mapping. The video mapping is, I think, it's very good techniques, very attractive. But my concern if it's become as an event. If it's become an event, I think it will be on the account of the historical side, because it's so attractive for a new generation who's so attached to games, video games. I think they will be concerned or attractive for the.
There is a question at the end.
Hi, hello.
Maybe after, because it's finished. It's late.
It's not exactly a question, but it's going to be very short and briefly. I would like only to make a reflection and a proposal. The reflection agrees with the previous statement that it's like in cinema, in three-dimensional cinema. once you've seen the effect of the ball going to you, something like that, okay, what else is on 3D? It's like I deal with the content, with the narrative that is behind the technology can habilitate. So I think it's very important to find out the contents and the integrity with the architecture, with the facade, and with festivals and with the proposals that people that are going to watch, not to make that boring. This is something that we've been discussing before with some other partners, that, yeah, but still nowadays people go to see fireworks. It's the same, but it's fireworks. That's the reflection. And the proposal is to extend this, because it's quite expensive to make the projection of the facade and a lot of time of the artists working on that. How could we extend that? Not only on YouTube, because it's different. We made a proposal with Bloom, with Richard in the festival here, creating models of the facades. So in a small scale, we could promote not only the heritage, but also the work of the artist, and to distribute them with other cities or here, and to make it longer, to have a bigger life.
This is a good proposal. This is a good proposal, and these two projects, video mapping from Lebanon and Bibliotheca Alexandrina, pointed very about dramaturgy. The focus was on dramaturgy, narrative point, not only these fireworks, but a real point for dramaturgy, narrative, the historic sense. So finish that. Very finished. Thank you very much. Thank you to all speakers. I'm sorry for my bad English, but I tried.